I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Thank you for having us.
I wanted to ask you if you could take me back to the beginning and tell me how Call to the Moon became a reality.
Oh, that's a great question because, for each member of the band, the metal music was a very important part of our lives. So it's interesting because the almost all of the current members of Cult of the Moon, we played together in very different projects, bands. But if we will start from the very beginning, the band started with me and Roman, which is the other guitar player of ours. And we used to play, I think, 15 years ago, long time ago, right? We used to play in an Israeli melodic death metal band called Catastrophe. So after we split up, Roman continued to do music on his own. I stopped to make any music a little bit, took some hiatus, some break from the music stuff. And after, I think in 2022, we just met together again and we decided that we want to create a new music. And at that time, I experienced the loss of my mother. She died a year earlier in 2021 she battled with cancer, and unfortunately, she didn't beat it. So she died, and I really wanted to create some music that can get me through this sad experience.
Sure.
And when I came to Roman and I told him, listen, dude, let's start to make music again. And he was like, sure, but like, would you like to continue to make like this kind of death metal stuff? And I said, no, I want to do something that will help me to deal with my grief, with my sorrow, with my loss. And I want to play something more emotional and cold in that sense. And yeah, and we decided that we will play together, jam together. He told me like, come to my place. We can, like you show me some riffs, I will show you some ideas, and we started to jam. And all of a sudden, I just came with the, with Lunar Eclipse riff, the main riff
Mhm.
of the first song in our album. And he was like, dude, that's so cool. So let's do it. And we just took this direction because for me, I really loved at that time black metal, all of my life.
Mhm.
Roman coming from more death metal, deathcore background, well, first of us, we are huge fans of death, right? Chuck Schuldiner, rest
Sure.
in peace. But I always tried to take our music even before to more black style, more heavier stuff. And Roman always liked to play more, death metal by the book, technical death metal, deathcore.
Mhm.
And at that point, we decided that we will preserve the atmosphere, the core, the structure of traditional black metal, but we won't put ourselves inside some boundaries and we will allow each other to express ourselves musically. So when I write some like traditional black metal riff, right, I give it to Roman and he starts to add his influences on top of that. And this is how we started to write our songs. Uh, in all of the process, like it was like back and forth, like some kind of ping pong. He wrote a riff, he
Yeah.
sent it to me, I jammed along with this riff, and then he wrote some stuff, sent it to me, you know. So so when we had enough music, enough material, we decided that we need to start to do some rehearsals, to practice it with a real drummer. So we called our old friend Morax, which is our current drummer. And Morax, he's a very interesting person. First of all, he's an amazing drummer. He's like genius, machine. But he's also drummers were always a problem, right? It's very hard to find everywhere a good drummer, especially in a small country such as Israel. We are in the size
Sure.
of New Jersey, right? So it's that small country with the 10 million population, and there is no many metal drummers, per se, in back in Israel, especially in our city. We are not from
Hmm.
Tel Aviv. We are not from, big city. We're from Haifa, which is a northern city in Israel, and um, we just looked for a good drummer, and then we knew we had one because like we have Morax, and he joined us, and we started to play together, three of us. We worked enough to have a very solid foundation for an album, and then we started to record the album. Three of us, again, writing some ideas, adding, editing, and this is how we got this album. But we never had a bass player, bass guitar player, because we found some very amazing a friend of ours. But unfortunately, after he recorded two songs with us, he relocated to Canada, and he unfortunately couldn't finish the album with us. So we desperately needed a bass player, and we couldn't find one, right? And by a miracle, one of our followers on Instagram page, Alfred Samuel, he lives in India. He's from India. I
Hmm.
never met the dude. I never in person, right? I just spoke with him, about the bands, about our music, about like our influence, all of this like stuff in the DMs and Instagram. And then I saw at some point I saw his video that he's like playing a very, very, I think it was Gojira. He played like on a bass guitar, and it was so good. And I just came with an idea. I was like, maybe I should contact him because nowadays technology is right. You are in Ohio, I'm here in Washington, D.C., and
Sure.
we're talking. So why not to try it, why not to apply it to a music world, right? And I contacted to Alfred, who is right now in India, right? And I told him like, dude, you are an amazing bass player and we need one. Can you help us? And he was like, hell yeah, let's do it, right?
Hey.
So he recorded the rest of the album, all of the bass tracks on the album. He recorded in India and he sent us
Wow.
over. Yeah. So that's a cool story about the album. But in general, if we would love to summarize just the beginning of Cult of the Moon, it started from friendship of two good friends, me and Roman. Unfortunately, the fuel and the energy and the main theme of this album, it's grief, loss, sorrow, mainly for the people that we lost. I lost my
Sure.
mother, and I'm pretty sure that many people get connected to the album because each one of us experienced a loss at some stage of their lives, right? So yeah, and like we don't consider ourselves like yes, we started as a band in Israel, but right now I'm here in Washington D.C. I live here. Our bass player, he's in India. Roman right now in Thailand, and Morax, the drummer, he's the only one who lives right now in Israel. So we are all over the world. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you if you could speak on two tracks that particularly stand out to me. One of them being Sheol. I wanted to ask you if you could speak on the message of that song and its biblical impact.
Yeah, sure. Which song? Do you have any particular song that you want to talk
Yeah,
about?
Sheol.
Sheol, yeah, Sheol. It's a very personal song. I use the name for those who don't know what is Sheol. In the biblical sense, first of all, we're not religious band, right? But we're coming from the Middle East, from a very religious place, a
Hmm.
crossroads of the three main monotheistic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, right? So in that sense, we have a lot of cultural impact on
Sure.
us. Um, so Sheol, in biblical sense, it's a place where a soul of a human person, it's not heaven and not hell, but
Hmm.
it's like kind of, if I would say, it's like a purgatory. It's a
Sure.
place where your soul goes through some process of cleansing, right? and it's a very difficult place according to the mythology, according to the to all of this religious stuff. So I wrote this song as a reflection when we're talking about the meanings of the world words, right? About the meaning behind the words. I wrote this song when I was in a very, 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 very difficult place with myself, with a lot of inner struggles. One of them, again, it's the death of my mother, and some other personal things that I struggled with in my life. I was in a very bad place, in a very low place, and this song, it's kind of a cry for help, right? Uh, Between me and myself. Dark, the song starts with the words dark was bottom of the pit.
Yes.
I felt that I'm at the bottom, like low, hit the rock bottom, right? I'm in the most darkest, most awful place in my life. And I felt like I'm nothing. Dark was bottom of the pit. Nameless was my name. I'm nothing, right? And it's a song of personal struggle of each one of us, not only me, because each member of our band, we've been going through a personal struggles, personal dilemmas, issues, and that's the reflection of the song. We have all of us. We have personal demons that we're facing each day, and uh, and this song, it was just something to help me to deal with these inner demons, not to stop to feed them, because once you hit the rock bottom, once you're in the lowest place on your life, it's very easy to stay there. It's very hard to get up, but this song
Absolutely.
encouraged me to to overcome these demons. And in a musical sense, this song is kind of a tribute, right? Because it's like very black metal by the book on one hand. On the other hand, there is a some, this melodic guitar lead kind of solo, right, in the middle of
Right.
the song. So it's kind of my personal tribute to Judas Priest, because I really like Judas Priest. I love their guitar works, Glenn Tipton and KK Downing. They're both amazing, and Judas Priest influenced me a lot. So the main riffs, it's pure black metal, which is influenced by bands like Dark Funeral, Emperor, Immortal, Mayhem, right? These are the black metal gods. But at the same time, I just took the vision of, the British heavy metal bands such as Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, and tried to combine their melodies into a traditional black metal song. So, and Roman added the low string. Roman, he's playing on 7 string guitar, Ibanez, with a low string, So he added like during this solo, he added like chugs of like a low string, a 7th string, and this is what we got. So it's a personal struggle with a small tribute to black metal uh, gods and the amazing influence such as Judas Priest.
And I think another thing that it speaks to is a tribute is upon listening to your album, you have your own unique sound and your own unique feel. I think it's birthed from all the influences put together make something that's very unique.
True, true. And if you mentioned our unique sound, I would love to use this opportunity and to say, give a kudos and huge shout out to our producer, Francesco Sebastiani. He is the mastermind behind our sound. He is from Italy, and he helped us a lot. We recorded this album at our homes, but we sent we sent all of the material to Italy, and Francesco Sebastiani, he mixed the album, he remastered it, he gave this incredible sound. So he's the maestro, right? He's the mastermind behind our unique sound, and I just really want to use this opportunity and to say, Francesco, thank you. You're awesome.
Another track I'd like to discuss is Curse. Could you speak on that track as well?
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Yeah, sure, 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 sure. Let's start again with the lyrical perspective of it. Um, so Curse, it's you know, I don't like to explain my songs because I would like to give an opportunity to the audience to understand the songs the way they want
Hmm.
uh, to give it their own interpretation. But if you already ask, like that song talks about heartbreak, very bad one. I think I think the most painful that I ever had in my life. I used to date one very beautiful and amazing woman, and I thought like I saw my future with her. You know, like literally, I had this vision. We live in all of our life together, and I got connected to her on such a strong emotional level, and all of a sudden, like she just disappeared. Like she just left me, right? And
Wow.
I was devastated because, like, you know, she gave me all of this, like, possible signs that we will be together and forever. And just one of the days, she just told me, like, listen, it's not gonna work. Goodbye. And then she left. And every day I waited for her calls and for her messages, and I thought that something will happen, and like nothing happened. So again, all of our music is like emotional driven music. First
Hmm.
of all, we speaks from our hearts, from our souls. So that was a very painful breakup. Very sad and very, I don't know, very hard, very hard. Uh, uh, you know, and I just, again, I tried to deal with that. And the best, for me, the best way to deal with some personal struggles is just to express it through a music. So, so yeah, and I think this woman, she made me realize what true love is and what cost I paid for such a feeling. So, you know, like
Sure.
the verse of the song says, I curse you for being blessed by your light. So why should I curse her? Like I was blessed by her light, but I'm still curse her because I know what the price I paid for such a light, for such a,
Sure.
you know, for such a love. So that's the meaning of the real meaning of the song. And again, from the musical perspective, it's a mix. It's a mix because on on uh, on one hand, I really wanted to do something like black black metal, right? But I wanted to write a black metal ballad, right? Something more lyrical, something more poetic, something more slower, something more you know, something more that fits this concept of law of you know, love and breakup and betrayal, if you want. And I wanted to think. I tried to do something like different with this song when I wrote it. Uh, and besides many influence that I already mentioned, right? I really like Agaloch, you know, the
Ah,
Agaloch, right? It's your guys, it's an American atmospheric
yes.
black metal band. Amazing band, incredible. I've been listening to them since I was like, I think, 15, 16, somewhere in 2008, 9. I started to listen to Agaloch, and they were so amazing, so atmospheric, and their uniqueness came with this slow approach. They don't
Yes.
have this like blast beats and
Mm.
like very fast songs. They have this like very smooth, very like storytelling songs, right?
Like Trouble.
Yeah, 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 exactly. And I thought to myself, maybe I will try to somehow to create something, well, not similar, but like transfer these vibes through my own experience, through my own music. And I think from the music point of view, I think the biggest influence on this song was Agalok. But then again, I wrote the very basic riffs of that, like, and then I gave it to Roman. And then I think Roman made a freaking masterpiece of it because he added like this tremolo picking guitars and he created something different. So like it's it's very unique song. It's not the black metal by the book song, right? But it's like very personal, very creative, think in a way. There is this like acoustic part and the drum part, and I really wanted, and the bass part together with the drums. And in this song, I really wanted to give an opportunity to every band member to express himself because like it's a very breathing song, right?
Hmm.
Um, and uh, and the intro of it, tut, 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 um, it's a very funny story because as you see, I'm listening not only to metal music but to all of music around the
Sure.
world, trance, pop, rock, punk, folk, ethnic, and the the drum intro, it's actually was inspired by Lionel Richie, Dancing on
Ah,
the Ceiling. And I'm a huge fan of old pop, old R&B, So, so, and I was like, man, like that's genius. Like, let's try to play with that, give it a little bit different sound, and like uh, to put it into a metal track. And I think it's unique. And I think Dave Grohl from Nirvana, the intro of Smells Like Teen Spirit, he
yes.
spoke about it. He also took it from R&B or disco or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, so in this album there is a lot of different influences, right? From like literally, we pledged our loyalty to metal, right? To black metal mainly, but like we are human beings, right? We are like
Sure.
we are canvas. We have our emotions. We have other music that influence us. I see behind you there is a poster of Kiss.
Yes.
I love them. I love them, and I rest in peace, Ace Frehley. So not only Immortal Emperor, Dissection. I don't know who else. Windir and all of the Norwegian black metal bands are responsible for our sounds, but also ABBA, Lionel Richie, Whitney Houston, David Bowie, Elton John, right? We love them all, we respect them all, George Michael. Um, and for me personally, and I think the rest of the band members, they do share the same vision, same thoughts that if the music is good, it doesn't matter if it's a black metal song or
That's right.
pop music. If it's good, it's good. You're gonna connect to it. You're gonna love it. And we're not trying,
Absolutely.
yeah. And we're
My
not
first love
trying,
was the Beatles.
yeah. You see, and they were amazing, right? I myself more Rolling Stones guys, but yeah, Beatles are huge. Love them too. And yeah, that's more or less about the album, about the song. So if you have any questions, please ask.
Um, I did want to ask you, who's responsible for your logo?
Oh, um, it's a very, 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 very unique artist from Ukraine. Um, I found him, I think, in Fiverr, and I saw a Ukrainian artist, young artist with incredible works. I just told him, like, dude, like, I messaged him and I was like, we need a black metal logo. I just drew some initial proto logo and sent over him. I was like, yeah, great, I can do something like that. And a few days after, he sent us this logo. I was like, man, it's incredible. We're gonna take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to ask you as well, now that the album's out, what's the next step for you? Will this band eventually perform live?
First of all, the answer is yes. We will eventually perform live. It's only a matter of when and where, right? Because being an international metal
Yes.
band, it's not that easy because like with the costs of flights. It's very expensive to tour, especially for such a small band, right? But we truly want to give the full Cult of the Moon experience to our audience. We want to tour. Actually, we are working right now on some possibilities to tour. Maybe not in 2026, but 2027 for sure, definitely. Mainly in Europe, uh, because this is like where you have like a very great small black metal festival for small bands, right?
Absolutely.
But we definitely want to tour not only in Europe. We would love to come to America because like American metalheads, they're awesome guys. I just want to give a shout out if it's like an interview in English, right? And both of us were here in the United States. You guys are amazing. There is a lot of our followers, a lot of our listeners on Spotify, like from here from the United States of America. And thank you guys for the support. We definitely would love to come to play in the States, and we're working on that. But for now, we are trying, we're trying to concentrate ourselves on promoting the debut album. I think if this album will be a commercial success, right? And by saying commercial success, I do not believe that we will sell, I don't know, millions of copies or even not at 10,000, right? But if it will be a commercial success for us in terms of like it will be enough buzz around it and enough people will be interested in this album and will listen to it, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and all of these the digital platforms. I think if it will be a success for us, we will be able to break through this small black metal band barrier and to participate in more bigger festivals, in more local shows, to join maybe, hopefully, it's like something that it's a dream, right? To join one of
Sure,
the
absolutely.
big bands, to be a supportive act to Behemoth or to Emperor. That's our vision. For now, we are truly trying to push our debut album to promote it everywhere we can. And again, we're very grateful to you for giving us such a platform and an opportunity. Um, and but meanwhile, I'm also started to work on like the second album. I'm writing songs already, and we want to also to record our second album, which will be more professional, more solid, more mature. We would love to record it like in a proper way somewhere in studio in Europe, whether it's Hertz Studios in Poland, who recorded Behemoth and Hate and Decapitated, or Jens Bogren in Sweden, fascinating street. His studio, like, responsible for all of these Swedish metal bands,
Sure.
mostly, right? In Flames and whatnot, Arch Enemy. And yeah, that's the vision. Push this album, tour, record the second album, and continue to give you our music.
And you've been doing this for a while. I wanted to ask you along your journey, what do you feel has been the best advice that has been given to you along the way?
Oh, that's a great question. So I believe that I believe that you should believe in yourself. You should first of all believe in yourself. It may sound like a cliche, but once you believe in yourself, nothing gonna stop you. But you also need to be aware of your limitations, right? It's good to dream, it's good to have a vision, but also know your limitations. And I believe if you believe in your product, in our case, it's our music. We believe in our music,
Sure.
right? Um, that makes us to work hard in order to realize our ideas and to put them into like make them give them like make them alive. Uh, but you also should remember that first of all, how to say that in English? Like the personal belief, it's not enough. You need to work hard. You need to work
Sure.
hard. You should not be afraid to be rejected, to experiment with yourself, to be criticized, to receive some negative feedback. I think the negative feedback that we got through our lives, it was the most, it was the best thing. And this critique not came just from a random people on Instagram, on in the comments. We received constructive feedback from our beloved ones.
Sure.
I always like when I write something, I give it to my wife to listen to. She's not a metalhead. She's but if it's good enough, she said like, wow, there is something into it.
Right.
That's good, right? I received a critique from my father and my mother. Like we ask the opinion of our friends, and we're not afraid to be criticized, right? Opinion of others, they're unique, they're very unique perspective. It's like for us, it's very important. And anyway, yeah, believe in yourself, work hard, don't be afraid to be rejected, to fail, to receive feedback and critiques, and just follow your heart, right? It's not that like
Absolutely.
it's not that I always like to talk about Chuck Schuldiner because he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time, right? So I believe that the greatest album of Chuck Schuldiner it's either symbolic or a sound of perseverance. But before Chuck Schuldiner became to be I don't know, godfather of death metal and Chuck Schuldiner that we know today, he recorded first Scream Bloody Gore,
Hmm.
right? Which is again, it's a great album, but it's not the Chuck that we know today, right? It's not
Right.
the same Chuck, right? Scream Bloody Gore, then Leprosy, then Spiritual Healing, and only after 3 albums he started like with such a like human, individual, and then
Right.
symbolic, right? Same with Metallica, like Kill 'Em All, amazing album, right? But it's not Master of Puppets, right?
Right.
you,
Absolutely.
you know so for young musicians or any other people that want to create a music, just believe in yourself, but also like work on yourself, improve yourself, because you're not start to run a marathon one day. You train yourself, you just start with a half a
Absolutely.
mile, mile, 2 miles, and then you run a marathon. Same with the music.
And I wanted to ask you, lastly, if you could give a message to your fans, what message would you give them?
First of all, we love you guys. Genuinely and truly. When I think of my friends, I'm smiling because I know how. First of all, I don't like the word fans, right? They are our family, they are our partners in crime,
Sure.
uh, they are our friends, and without them, we're literally nothing. Yeah, and I'm saying that not because I'm like don't think that we're talented enough or something like that, but yeah, we could write an album, but it's all nice and all good if we would love to record album just for ourselves, right? But we recorded our music, our stuff, not only for ourselves. We wanted to share it with the world, and our audience so far they received us with an open arms, with open hearts, and they gave us so much love, and it's incredible, right? Because like we're here in America, we're receiving
Yes.
messages from California, from Missouri, right? We're receiving the messages from Brazil in Portuguese, where people write us. We translate it in the Google Translate, right? Sorry, we don't speak English, but we just wanted to tell you that you guys are awesome. And then I write them. First of all, I'm also not speaking English. This is not my first language, right? So we're good,
Sure.
guys. So all
Yeah.
good. And like this morning, some kid from Indonesia wrote me. Somewhere in Far East, right? East Asia, Indonesia. It's like so far away. People from Iran wrote me like yesterday. And it's so cool to see like the metalheads getting united. And it's even more cooler when they're getting united because of our music, because something
Sure.
that I created,
Absolutely.
right? And I love our audience. We love our audience. You guys are amazing. We truly like sending you all of the possible support, sending you back because we received like we are freaking blessed. We received so much support, and we want to give it back to our audience. And I think the best way to give it back to them is by continue creating music, new
Sure,
music.
absolutely. I wanted to thank you for creating an album that I enjoyed from top to bottom. I couldn't wait to speak with you about it. I look forward to what lies ahead for you. Please keep in touch with me with any new news as it comes about, my friend.
Sure, sure, sure. And if you will ever be here in Washington, D.C., please be my guest. Let's have a coffee, beer, whatever.
Will do. Thank you very much again. You have a great rest of your
All
day.
right, sir. Stay metal. Thank you
Stay
so much.
metal.
Bye bye.
Bye.